Yes, I love this land. It takes my breath away.
Welcome to this edition of Texas 10. I'm Melissa.
And I'm Steve. Together we're the Howans.
Still.
Great. And the last 5 years, what have we done, Melissa?
We have been traveling all over Texas. In fact, there are 254 counties in the state of Texas, and as of this filming, we've been to 133 of those counties.
Or 100 more than that. 233.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oops.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we have got 21 to go. But today we get to talk about one of our favorite spots, Williamson County. County seat is Georgetown, although the biggest city is Round Rock. It is just north of Austin on I-35, and Williamson County is a knockout.
Man, I know if you've watched any of our other episodes, you hear me say often, this is one of my favorite county seats. But Georgetown is one of it may be my favorite. I love this town.
Right. So I love it for a variety of reasons. One of them is Georgetown and Williamson County as a whole, because Williamson County is a lot more than Georgetown. Mm-hmm. It represents sort of Texas 21st century at its best. It has historic Texas culture, but it has all the new things too.
Yeah, it really does. You know, Austin, I think, is kind of bleeding into the county, which I think has helped. When we were visiting and walking around the county square and talking to people, we were so impressed with how full the county square is. But they were telling us that that's really fairly recent, like in the last 20, 25 years. That's
recent to us old people.
Yeah, it was kind of falling apart. There weren't that many businesses. And then people started revitalizing, and they wanted to tear down some of the buildings. And I guess a historical society got involved, and they didn't. And I'm so glad they didn't, because it has great shops, great restaurants, great galleries. It's really fantastic.
It is. You're there on a Friday night, and it is like you are downtown big city. It is the music, food of all types. Mm-hmm. You can have a great meal. You can have great libations. You can hear great music. You can, if you're libations.
That's drinking if you don't know what libations is.
And then great ice cream. I mean, there's just, it's spectacular for spending a Friday night, Saturday night sort of deal. So anyway, Williamson County has been there for a long time. Mm-hmm. You read about the history of it. One of the things that was interesting to me is on Saturday morning when we first got to the county square. I know where
you're going.
There were 2 tents out of protesters, and one was asking for the Confederate monument to be torn down, and the other was asking for it to stay up. And it got me to thinking, Williamson County for a long time had been red in terms of politics. And I went and looked. I think in the Bush-Gore election, it went 80-20 Republican. I looked in the Biden-Trump election, it was almost 50-50. So it's a purple county. You hear about purple states and whatnot, but you have a purple county. Mm-hmm. And the thing that did my heart good about that is they were civil to each other, and the county still works.
Right.
Even though, people have different ideas about this and that and the other thing. And so it is heartwarming to know that we can still get along.
Right. You can have a different opinion, but you can get along.
And I think maybe the libations have something to do with that. I don't know.
Well, I want to talk about the square, because the first night we got there, we ate at this precious restaurant. We were able to eat outside. It was beautiful weather. They had music out on their grounds. And then when we started walking around, so many of the restaurants have live music. There are great shops. There's a really wonderful toy store that I love. There's shopping for clothing. There's like little hardware shops, and there's art galleries.
There are art galleries. We're big fans of Texas art and Texas artists. And, some places you got people that try hard. Mm-hmm. In Georgetown, you got people that get it done. And so...
this is one of my favorite pieces. We got this. I just loved the way the blue... to me, it looks like an ocean. That's not what the name of it is. I wish I could remember what the name of it is.
I'm not
I even looked it up last night, and I can't remember. But I fell in love with this piece of pottery. And in fact, when we left, and Steve was like, no, I don't think so. And he said, I love it too, but then we went back, and
Right.
I scored it. And then also we have a little painting from one of the galleries too.
Right.
So we really loved it.
Yeah, and there were Texas artists that were featured there. There's a lot of public art there too. The Beatles are all over the town square for some reason, sort of statues and pictures and whatnot. So
there's the little church that they also have all kinds of art experiences in it, and they bring in music groups, and that was really fun as well.
So we could talk all day just about Georgetown, but like I said, Williamson County is much more than just Georgetown. You travel down the road a little bit, and you come to one of your favorite towns,
the Hutto, because their mascot at their high school are the Hutto Hippos. I mean, alliteration.
Right.
And who has a hippo as a high school mascot?
Best mascot in Texas, no question.
And a great high school stadium.
They have a great high school football stadium. They love their hippos in Hutto. As a matter of fact, a lot of the businesses and some of the homes have these cement hippos in front of them. So that's commitment to the hippos. So good on that. And they also have the Texan Cafe.
Yes. And the Texan Cafe is great for lunch, but really if you're just driving through in the afternoon and you want a treat, their pies are amazing. They had, remember the Elvis pie?
Pie.
Oh, there was one.
Right.
It was the Elvis pie,
Right.
and it was so good.
It doesn't leave the building. So
it did not leave the building.
It's pie at the Texan Cafe in the middle of the afternoon. One of the better things about Texas. But if you're going to talk about, those are all great restaurants. A shout out to Walburg that's got a great German restaurant.
I have to throw this in there. We lived in Germany, and I loved Spätzle. And they had Spätzle like they had it in Germany.
Real
it was
German.
So good.
Right.
And great music that night.
Great music that night, too. But the best thing to eat in Williamson County, maybe the best thing to eat in Texas, Louis Miller's barbecue place. It's in Taylor, Texas. Texas Monthly is sort of the gold standard for ranking barbecue.
Right.
Every 4 or 5 years since 1997, they've named the top 50 barbecue joints in Texas. Louis Miller is the only one that has been on every list.
And just the ambiance. They have the old original screen doors, which I love. And just the downtown at Taylor. It's also great.
So Taylor's, it's really changing.
Yeah.
It's changing. There's the Black Sparrow music place.
That was great. The guitar shop where we talked to the guy a long time about Gibson guitars.
They had a great guitar shop. They had a great men's store that would be at home on South Congress in Austin or Rodeo Drive. It's called the 74 Man Shop. And it was really cool.
Probably one of the best men's shop I've ever been in.
And the most interesting shopping place in Taylor is the high school.
Right.
The old high school.
Oh, that's right. They had turned it into, rather than demolishing it or using it for offices, it's a mall. And so that was really fun.
Like the chemistry lab is now the ice cream store.
Yeah.
And so there's all sorts of things about Taylor that are interesting. And
who's the athlete that's from?
It was a sprinter. Our runner daughter is sitting there. We're not going to ask her, but he's an Olympic medalist.
Yes. And they had outside their house, they had signs and pictures of him. And so really that hometown pride.
Right. So there's other places in Williamson County. We don't have time for them, and that's why you need to go to Texas10.com. Melissa has something she's got to say.
But wait. Okay, the best breakfast in Texas is the Monument Cafe. Don't miss it. It is like my favorite restaurant. It's got this open kitchen. It's the old and the new. Sit at the bar. Oh my gosh. And then that night, go down to El Monumento for great Mexican food. My favorites.
So we're back in Georgetown for those.
Yeah, sorry, I should have said that.
Right. And so you got all the Texas food groups. You've got the diner.
Barbecue.
At Monument. You got the barbecue at Louis Miller. You've got Tex-Mex at El Monumento. You've got German, which we have a large German heritage in Texas.
At Walburg restaurant.
And so you can't miss on the food. And you got the pies at the Texan Cafe.
And before we leave, and you do need to go to our website, but Southwestern University's there. And when you want to cool off, go to the Blue Hole and jump in. The
Blue Hole is one of Texas's favorite swimming holes. And it's 5 blocks from the county seat in Georgetown. You can walk from the county seat to the Blue Hole. And in the summer, there's going to be a lot of people there, but everybody's having a good time. And so, Williamson County, again, it's it's its own thing. It's melding with Austin, and it's producing just a spectacular place to visit or live. I know Sun City is there, and it's a great retirement community, and I can see why. The draw, if you were retired looking for a great lifestyle, I mean, I can't think of a better place than Williamson County. So we have so much more to say about Williamson County. Look on our website, texas10.com, or go to some of our social media. We're going to try and put the pictures on Instagram, modern or updated stuff on Facebook at Texas 10 is our Facebook page. So, you know, if you can look, if you can give us a like, a share, a subscribe, a shout out, whatever. And if you can tell us about where you've been or what you enjoyed about Williamson County when you get there, we'd love it. So I think that's all we got time for today.
That's all we have time. Williamson County, a great place for a weekend for sure.
Exactly. So that's Texas 10 for today. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
And I love this land. It takes my breath away. From the Palo Duro to the Gulf Coast plain. From the heart of the hill country to the piney wood shade. I love this land. It takes my breath away.